now to give a dinner party. Alice is a born-again vegan, while her husband, Jeffrey, to reduce his carbon footprint, insists all his food must be locally grown. Uncle Harry, if he is to come, demands steak-cooked, very rare, while Aunt Sally, in fear of mad cow disease, announces she has forever given up beef. My neighbor Alex eats only free-range chickens and eggs. Gloria tells me she is gluten-free, pre-celiac, she whispers with pride, always insists on having breads and pastries that meet her special needs. My best friend Jenny and her husband, who had a prostate scare, eat a macrobiotic diet, although I hear he often sneaks out to eat. Sally, who is anorexically thin, is perpetually on a diet. No sugars, no fats, definitely no carbs, while her husband Ralph is lactose intolerant. Actually, he's intolerant of almost everything. Cousin Dee Dee is allergic to vinegar, nuts, and strawberries, loves to regale us with the time when a pickle caused her to swell up, almost die before the paramedics arrived. While advised religion is a subject never to be raised, dinner parties require special intel. My Muslim friend Khalid practices halal. Shula keeps kosher, won't mix milk and meat. Both definitely do not eat pig. I now have a special computer program to plan my dinner parties. A seating chart to avoid the bloody steak eater next to the adamant vegan. Not just to avoid unpleasant sights, but those combative conversations, sometimes overt combat too. I did have to ask Uncle Harry to leave at one point. Recently at a friend's dinner party, this is true by the way, the host proudly announced the salmon were caught in the wild on individual hooks, not by a net. One guest replied, "My wife and I won't be eating any. We believe salmon must remain in the wild to ensure that eagles survive." Of course, their bellies were already full of righteous piety. Today, dinner conversations are rarely about art, the latest play abolishing the Senate, do you remember that? Or saving old growth trees. Rather, we are force-fed rants on food genetically modified, saturated fats, corporate takeovers of the food industry. I find myself silently musing about the greatest eater of all. You know that guy with a scythe and a hooded black cloak. Above the conversational noise, I hear him slurp my well-aged flesh, chomp my brittle bones, wait for him to burp up my little vibrating soul, shimmering light as it rolls down the table, bounces through the patio doors.